Everyone tells PDA parents to stay regulated. It's in every book, every resource, every well-meaning piece of advice. Stay calm, stay regulated, model the state you want your child to reach. Almost nobody explains how, especially if you're a neurodivergent parent yourself, with your own nervous system that has its own limits. I'm speaking from personal experience here. I have PDA and ADHD. I also have a child with ADHD. I know what it is to be the dysregulated parent in the room when a dysregulated child needs co-regulation. I know what it is to be told to stay calm and feel that instruction arrive as a demand. One more thing I can't do right now. This video is not 10 tips for staying calm. It is an honest look at what's actually happening in those moments and what actually helps from someone who has had to figure it out without a script. Let's name the paradox first. Your child needs you to be regulated in order for your regulated state to co-regulate them. But their dysregulation is dysregulating you. The screaming, the chaos, the emotional intensity, the physical demand of the situation, your nervous system is responding to all of it. You cannot give what you don't have, and being told to give it anyway is its own demand. For PDA parents specifically, the instruction to co-regulate is itself a demand. You must be calm right now. You must perform a particular emotional state. That instruction, even when you give it to yourself, can activate the same threat response that makes PDA so hard to manage. The demand to regulate can dysregulate you further. For ADHD parents, emotion regulation is an executive function, and executive functions are the first thing to go offline when the nervous system is overwhelmed. In the moments you most need to regulate, the neurological machinery that supports regulation is least available. That is not a character flaw. It is how the ADHD nervous system works under load. One distinction that matters: regulation and suppression are not the same thing. Suppression is pushing the feeling down, performing calm, while the actual state underneath is still dysregulated. It looks like regulation from the outside. It isn't, and it has a cost. Because whatever is being suppressed is accumulating, not resolving. The implosion or the explosion comes later. Regulation is actually moving the nervous system toward a calmer state. It involves different mechanisms: breath, movement, sensation, space, time, and produces different outcomes. You are not performing calm, you are creating it. The difference matters because suppression is finite and regulation is renewable. Your nervous system cannot think its way into regulation. Telling yourself to calm down does not calm you down. Regulation is physiological. It happens in the body, not the mind. It requires a physical input, something that changes the state of the nervous system, rather than just instructing it to change. So what actually works in the moment? When the situation is active and you need to regulate quickly? Create physical distance if you can. Even 30 seconds out of the room, long breath, water on the face, hands on a wall, interrupts the feedback loop between your child's dysregulation and yours. You are not abandoning them. You are breaking the cycle long enough to come back differently. The exhale is the body's brake pedal. A long, slow out-breath, longer than the in-breath, activates the parasympathetic nervous system, which is the system responsible for calming. You can do this silently, in the room, without anyone knowing. It is not a relaxation exercise. It is a physiological signal. It works in seconds. Cold water on the wrists or face, brief physical movement, heavy pressure input. These change the nervous system's state faster than any cognitive intervention. They are not luxuries. They are tools. Find which one works for your nervous system and make it accessible, literally within reach. Because in the moment you will not have the executive function to retrieve a complex plan. Know your own precursors. What does your dysregulation feel like before it fully arrives? Tension in the jaw, heat in the chest, a particular quality of irritability. The earliest signal is when intervention is most effective. By the time you're fully dysregulated, options have narrowed. By the time you notice the first sign, you can still choose your response. When you genuinely cannot regulate, when the system is overwhelmed and there's no quick rope back, the best thing you can do is get out of the way. A regulated absence is better than a dysregulated presence. Putting yourself in another room, checking on your child from a distance, is not failure. It is harm reduction. Regulation is not only for crises. It is a capacity you build over time, through sleep, through your own sensory accommodation, through having enough of your own needs met, that your baseline is lower. A parent who is chronically depleted, sensory overloaded, and undersupported has a much narrower window before they hit their limit. The regulation work happens in the non-crisis moments too. Self-accommodation is not selfishness. Protecting your sleep, managing your own sensory environment, getting your own needs met, these are the infrastructure that makes co-regulation possible. You cannot co-regulate a child from empty. The oxygen mask instruction exists for a reason. You will not always get this right. I don't always get it right. That is not the standard. The standard is repair. Coming back after a hard moment, acknowledging what happened without excessive explanation, and reestablishing connection. Children do not need perfect regulation from their parents. They need repair. And repair is something we can always do. If you're a neurodivergent parent navigating this, PDA, ADHD, AUDHD, the Discord community has people who understand this dynamic from the inside, not just as parents of PDA children, but as people who are wired the same way themselves. Free Discord community, link in the description. I'll see you in the next video.